It is over. The 2018 USL season is ready to kick off here at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting Toronto FC 2 in the first match of the season. I'm David Gosh, joined today and hopefully most of the season by Hunter Freeman, former New York Red Bull, alongside of me as these two teams are out on the field and ready to go. Hunter, first game of the season, long preseason. These two teams got to be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, the first game of the season, you're always excited, you're pumped up. It's getting those early jitters out and ultimately putting your best foot forward and getting the result today.
And one player who's very ready to go, TFC2 starting goalkeeper Angelo Cavallo.
A bit undersized for your typical goalkeeper, but well and highly thought of in the TFC circles.
And on the flip side, he's going to try and stop Mr. Ben Mines. Just 17 years old, already a goal in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how he does today, coming off such a high last week and now playing here with Red Bull 2. I look forward to watching him this afternoon.
Ben Mines starting his second year in USL action, but already a goal, as we said last week, against the Portland Timbers. We'll be back in just a moment with all your first half action here from Red Bull Arena.
Coming up on Red Bulls Insider.
Davis got a head to it right. Phillips puts it out of reach.
I think when Jesse first came in, he wanted me to be more vocal. He challenged me to be more of a leader. If you know me, it's not really my thing to, talk just for the sake of it.
Sitting in the stands when I was younger, watching Thierry on replay, Bradley Wright Phillips, and now you get to be a part of the same thing that they are, and it's an amazing feeling to be a part of.
It's about to go down. The matchup y'all been waiting for.
Get in there. We're at the Adidas flagship. The players are signing autographs. They're getting involved in FIFA. Let me show you around.
All that and much more coming up after the match.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health, life years ahead.
Well, the anthems are over, and these two teams are ready to go here as the captain Florian Valleau and Liam Frazier, both on loan down from the USL side, to start for their teams. You look at the starting lineup for this TFC2 squad. We talked about the goalkeeper as well, Boskovic, the homegrown at center back. Ben Spencer, big-time forward as well, brings some good size to this team.
Yeah, Ben Spencer's a great target up front for TFC2. I look for them to get the ball into him and make runs off of him. He'll definitely be a tough one to mark for Red Bull 2.
And you look at this Red Bull 2 roster, similar to the MLS team, and probably a five-man backline. Ethan Cutler and Nico DeVera will play at the wingbacks. Echeverria, coming from Wake Forest, will be in that holding midfield role. And you've got Ben Mines, the goal scorer, and Florian Valleau out on the wings.
Yeah, you have two great guys on the wings that had a tremendous week last week, and let's see how they translate that to Red Bull 2.
And the man who gets it all done, John Warnock, the only coach in this team's history, wildly successful in Eastern Conference Championship game last year and a USL Cup 2 years ago, and a playoff run the first year as well.
Yeah, former teammate of mine as well, so I know him well. He's done an extremely good job so far with Red Bull 2.
And on the flip side, Laurent Gouillat, a former French Ligue 1 player, coached the French U18, U17 national team, was an instructor at the French Football Federation, and now his first season and first game in charge of TFC2.
Yeah, his resume speaks for itself. He's been in the TFC setup for a few years now. He has youth coaching experience. He has professional coaching experience, so I look for him to step in right away and put his mark on this TFC2 team.
A lot of players playing their first ever professional soccer game out here today. If you're one of these two coaches, what's the message coming out on the field? And we are kicked off here with the 2018 USL season. David Goss and Hunter Freeman joining you from Red Bull Arena. New York Red Bulls 2 here in their 4th season in USL action. They made it to the Eastern Conference semifinals, their first season. USL Cup in their 2nd season, winning the regular season and postseason, setting records for goals scored, goal differential last year. 7th place in the regular season, but they made it late run, falling to Louisville in the Eastern Conference championships and penalty kicks. Getting ready for another season here at home. Our officials for this one, Kevin Broadley, Cho and Tyler Rostek, our 2 linesmen, and Luis Arroyo, our 4th official. New York Red Bulls 2 get an early free kick. It'll be Valleau to take. Away at the near post by Frazier. Slid away in the end by TFC2. A couple draft picks on this team. Tim Kubel, one of them, will play out at right back. Flip side here for New York, a draft pick out of Akron, Nico De Vera, who will start at that left wing back position.
Early on, but very good start for Red Bull 2 here, creating. They got that chance there on the set piece and now a corner kick as well. So very positive start in these first early going here.
So Florian Valleau at a Rider University will take this corner kick. Right-footed service from the captain. Cavaluso is able to get a punch to it. Brought down, and now they look to clear through the feet of Aiden Daniels. Brought down by Tenari, and so it'll be a free kick coming. Luca Uccello drawing that one. TFC2 last in the Eastern Conference last year. 2 MLS teams, of course, using these USL squads in different ways. TFC2, a lot of homegrown players on this team, a lot of young academy players getting their first professional minutes. As Mine's pass is intercepted. Telfer gets it knocked away. So it looks like Jordan Scarlett in the middle of that back line, flanked by Hassan Endam on one side. And this here, Tommy Redding missing that header. Spencer now into space, looking for the feet of Telfer. And Endam's just able to get there at the last minute. Lauro a little late off his line. Hassan Endam in his 2nd year with the New York Red Bulls, made 1 appearance in Major League Soccer last year, spent most of his time with this New York Red Bulls 2 team. New York Red Bulls 2 will start the first 5 games of the season here at Red Bull Arena before they return to what is their permanent home, just taking a little bit of renovations as they continue to add an extra 1,500 seats at Montclair State University, as well as some new locker rooms alongside the field and a brand new playing surface. Tavera now charging forward, continuing to add to that relationship with Montclair State University. New York, so first chance to get some sustained possession. TFC2 dropping deep into their own half. Kubel with the header down. Uccello can't keep possession. Tavera getting a lot of action down his wing, and Brian White not able to keep possession of that one. Brian White was the leading scorer in PDL last year for New York Red Bulls U23 squad. Drafted out of Duke University this year by the New York Red Bulls. That PDL squad has a number of veterans on the New York Red Bull 2 team right now. Another way for this team to get comfortable with some young players. Ball comes through everyone, out the far side. Second bite at this one, Cutler with the cross, and it's knocked away by Coupel. DeVera trying to keep it alive, and now a chance to break for TFC2. The men in red down the wing. Ben Spencer leading the attack. Spencer just 22 years old, but already 5 years as a professional soccer player. Signed over in Scandinavia with Molde. And has played a little bit of professional here in the U.S. and 2 assists in 3 games last year in Major League Soccer. This is his 3rd year playing with TFC2. As now New York charges down the right side. Late tackle there. It's a free kick going New York's way. There'll be an early talking to for this New York Red Bull 2 team. Similar system to what the MLS team plays. No Bradley Wright Phillips up top. Brandon Allen was the leading goal scorer for a number of years. How do you try and deal with that when no one's really a true natural center forward?
There's different ways you can go about it. You know, you can have the guy who's playing your center forward drop back to get the ball and have those midfielders run off of them. You can also have him play as a point guard. I've seen guys that maybe aren't your typical target forward, but can hold the ball well. We'll see how Brian White does today. But I think they have a lot of creativity in the midfield. You have the 2 veteran guys with Velo and Mines on the wings. Velo likes to float a little more than Mines and find the spaces. So there's plenty of talent out there to find a goal.
Free kick coming here for Velo. Velo curls it to the far post. Cavaluso goes up and takes it. David Goss and Hunter Freeman here in the booth for this first broadcast of the season. DeVera there with a little ping pong. Bell's going to guide this one back. Liam Frazier wearing the captain's armband, a young homegrown holding midfielder. The backup to Michael Bradley right now in the system. Telfer and Scarlett on a race here. Scarlett just gets a toe to it. Now Telfer keeps it alive and Scarlett pushes it away.
And that's the second ball over the top by TFC2 that's created some problems for Red Bull 2. Scarlett did a good job there chasing it down, but again, a little bit of maybe lack of communication between Lauro and the center backs there.
Evan Lauro, Red Bull Academy, homegrown signing. University of Michigan graduate here, his 2nd year of professional soccer. That one's whipped away by Ben Mines. Ben Mines played last year, 11 appearances with New York Red Bulls too. He wore number 52. Now he gets to wear 17. He's a big-time first-team player.
Yeah, whenever you can move up
in the digits
from 52 to 17, I think that means you're doing something right.
I still am a proponent of the Mexican style of numbering every person in the system 1 through 400, so everyone knows where they stand at all times. As Laurel finally does come out this time, just able to pick that ball up in front of the feet of Ben Spencer. Just south of 10 minutes played here, the opening half of the opening game. New York Red Bulls 2 2018 season. They had a slow start to the season last year. We're sitting outside the playoff spots all the way through the middle of the summer before they went on what has become their typical late season run. That followed all the way through the playoffs, a 4-0 win at Charleston, an overtime win at the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and then finally falling in penalty kicks at the eventual champion, Louisville City. Through ball there from Velo is intercepted. This is a slide tackle put in by Robert Boskovic. New York Red Bulls 2 looking to push once again. Below will whip this cross in past White. Goes through everything. And Kubel recovers on the far side. Uccello back to the feet of Frazier. Telfair lets it go by himself in a foot race now. Scarlett's beating. Tommy Redding over to recover. He and Scarlett both put the tackle in. TFC2 with their best threat so far. Broken through one-on-one with Loro, and the ball's rolled in to the far side. Matthew Serbell blasts through that back line one-on-one with Loro, and no issues for him as TFC2 take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, tremendous run from Serbell on his own. Kind of split two defenders there and finishes with the outside of his right foot right into the corner.
What a moment for Matthew Serbell, just 19 years old, out of Brampton, Canada. His first ever USL goal into the opening 11 minutes here of the 2018 season.
And it all kind of started with that ball into the forward there. He let the ball run. Scarlett got caught being a little too aggressive. And then Redding was coming over to cover. Couldn't quite collect the ball, and the ball popped right to Serbell, and he finished from there. But a tremendous effort and a mazy little run on his own there, and a great finish into the corner.
Telfair and Ben Spencer up top, causing problems early on here. And a huge moment for TFC2. Serbell breaks through, a lot of composure for a 19-year-old on that finish.
Yeah, no, I mean, he had a chance where he could have hit it right there at the top of the box. He took an extra touch, waited for Laro to commit, and then, like I said, a cheeky little finish with the outside of his right foot right into the corner. And as you said, both TFC2 forwards with Spencer and Telfair, they're big boys, and you got to be careful as a defender to get too tight.
Velo with the curling shot, pushed away by Cavaluso. Follow-up by Cutler is saved over the crossbar. This game really starting to heat up here on a sunny winter afternoon at Red Bull Arena.
But you've seen from Velo early in this game exactly what you would expect. He's dominating the game for Red Bull 2. He's being that leader on the field. Obviously, he's the captain today, but with his set piece delivery there with a tremendous shot almost into the corner.
Velo cuts it back. Cutler with the cross to the far post. And that one's not saved by Redding. Florian Velo, first USL game of the season, but he's already gotten his feet wet. He has started once in CCL for New York Red Bulls, and their historic victory over Tijuana came off the bench down in Mexico to play almost the full game. As you see there, Cavaluso with the double save, and you mentioned him playing with that confidence, running this game, showing that he's taken steps in his quality from 2 years ago when he started with Red Bulls 2 to where he is now.
Oh yeah, I can guarantee you that John Warnock and Jesse Marsh, they expect him to dominate this game. They expect him to influence this game offensively and defensively, and so far he's done that.
So Velo with another set piece coming here. Red Bulls 2, a lot of chances. Nothing to show for it so far. This one floated in, headed down in the box. Save made by Cavaluso. What a save. It looked like the final touch coming to Brian White there.
Terrific save, reaction save from Cavaluso. I mean, you're that close. You're not expecting it. Well done from Indom there on the backside, heading it across. A lot of guys would try to put that on goal, but he wouldn't have been able to get enough power on it. So he nods it across the goal, and Ben White's in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, just can't put it in the corner.
TFC2 hanging on to their lead for now. 11th minute goal followed up by 3 saves by Cavaluso just to keep this team alive. Endom there losing possession. Spencer now coming forward. He pushes it wide to Uccello. Uccello floats it in, Loro off his line. And he's able to catch it in traffic.
That's better from Loro there. There's a few, 2 or 3 balls over the top early on. He looked a little tentative coming off his line. There, as soon as that ball was hit, he was very commanding and vocal and collected the ball very easily for Red Bull 2.
Evan Loro, former USU 20 international, was signed to a homegrown deal to start 2017, was then cut, signed a USL deal. The New York Red Bulls felt like he wasn't giving the quality and effort that they expected from him. He then had such a good year that he got re-signed to his MLS deal here on loan for this game, but went from splitting games to becoming the full-time starter. Started 21 games last year in the end. A little rocky, though, to start here in 2018.
Yeah, again, it's the first game. You have those first game jitters. As I said, those first few balls over the top, he was a bit tentative, slow. Communication with his back line, maybe lacking a little bit, but that last one he came out, collected it confidently. I look forward to more things like that, reading the game quicker.
Velo now to take. Floated to the far post again, just a little bit too far. No one can get a touch on it, and it'll go out for a goal kick.
And he's not happy with that service that he just gave there. He expects more of himself, and I'm sure his teammates do as well.
So TFC2 coming out here with the early lead. Was not a promising 2017 season. They went 6-19-7. Last place in the USL Eastern Conference, a -27 goal differential. Starting out brightly here. As Cutler goes forward, he loses possession. Excuse me, it was Ben Mines on the dribble. Ball clipped over the top. Finally, Tenari's able to bring it down. His early cross towards White, another header on goal, and Cavallo punches this one up over the crossbar.
Terrific cross from Tenari. He picks White out. He's the only one in the box. And again, unfortunately for White, he does everything right except he puts it right at Cavallo. And look at this tremendous save from the Toronto FC2 keeper.
That ball just snuck over the head of Romero. As this corner taken shortly, and then Cutler puts it in the second deck there. So he lets that one fly.
And you know Ben White's got to be frustrated. He's thinking about those 2 chances. They came pretty quickly within one another. But for me, a forward, it's your first game of the season, your first game with Red Bull 2. You're knocking on the door, and that's, I think, what John Wolyniek's looking for. He's getting in the right places. He's getting the opportunities. Now he's just got to take advantage of them.
So I mentioned Brian White won the Golden Boot in PDL last year as he gets another look here. Just off his toe, he scored 17 goals in PDL play last year. Not that many games in a PDL season, so it shows you how effective he can be. And Hunter, he continues to get into dangerous places.
Yeah, I mean, you see him here again. He's just inches away from connecting with this tremendous early ball there from De Vera. But again, he's knocking on the door. That's all you can ask for if you're the coach. He's in the right spot.
Velo now fighting in the box. It's knocked away in the end. Uccello pushing it up. Danny Eels with the pass. Well handled there by Scarlett and De Vera. Now all the way back to the Red Bulls 2 goalkeeper.
And Red Bulls 2 has to be careful when they're attacking like that and they're in the attacking half. When they've lost the ball, TFC 2 have been able to catch them on the break quite easily.
De Vera now charging forward. Mines on the far side, looking for an opening, trying to get to his right foot, gets a shot away, and it's blocked. Mines recovers but can't keep the ball in, and it'll be a goal kick. For a guy like Ben Mines, Hunter, you have this, you know, what you've always dreamed of experience just 1 week ago. Here in a full stadium against the Portland Timbers, he scores the goal. How do you come back mentally and give a high-level performance and continue to progress?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult, and you're exactly right. I mean, he came off such a high in the MLS opener, home opener for Red Bull. Now he's here in the Red Bull 2 opener, and I'm sure Jesse and John Wolyniek are going to look at that and see how he reacts today. And he's another player just like Velo. He's got to be a leader. He's got to be an influencer. He's got to be the one, you know, pulling the guys next to him, especially with this high-intensity pressure that, both teams here at Red Bull like to play. He's got to be the leader, showing them what he's learned with the first team and taking that experience that he had last week and bringing it in here.
Speaking of being an influencer, I've been told Ben Mines, after scoring that goal, picked up over 400 followers on social media. So make sure to go follow Ben Mines on Twitter and Instagram. I can't promise that the stuff's any good, but you helping grow his brand. That's all that matters.
Are you working for him? Because it sounds like you're,
Nah.
you're promoting it.
Not all. I'm a neutral. I'm a professional. But they told me that like within an hour of him scoring his first pro goal, his first response was like, yo, I picked up like 430 followers, which is what matters.
When you're 17, you know, 400 followers seems like 4,000. So
Uccello with the ball clipped in, headed away by Redding. Tommy Redding, his first chance to put on the New York Red Bull 2 stripes. Ball headed down in the box. A second chance for TFC2. Hit straight at Laura. A great look there for Serbell to maybe put his second in of the game.
Yeah, it was a tremendous chance once again. He mishits it. He hits it into the ground, and it kind of kills the momentum of the ball. But you see there again with Spencer causing the problem on the back post. Not a tremendous ball, but a ball kind of lofted to the back post, but he's a big kid, creating problems for that back line of Red Bull 2.
We talked about the size of this TFC2 front line. Playing in a 4-4-2, which we saw Toronto FC start the season in as well, but for the most part in their MLS Cup winning season, playing a 5-man back line as the TFC2 last year. Heavy turnover, heavy changes for this team. Romero. Ball back, Kubel, one of the new guys on this team. Romeo, just 18 years old, has made 3 USL appearances. And alongside him is Boskovic, who's just 19 years old, so not a ton of experience in that center back role. It's headed back by Scarlett. New York Red Bulls 2. Playing their first 5 games here at Red Bull Arena this season before they head to Montclair State University, their official home for USL play. Make sure to go to NewYorkRedBulls.com to look for tickets both here and at Montclair State. Of course, you can get your MLS tickets there as well, as White is called for the foul.
And lucky for Kubel there, because he misjudges it. The last thing you want to do as a defender is to be backing up, not with your body halfway turn. He's backing up, and he misjudges it. White got in behind him, but unfortunately he was called offsides.
For this New York Red Bull 2 team, in the DNA of this club is that high press to create chances. TFC2 right now sitting deep defensively, not really playing in possession. How does New York Red Bull 2 try and generate opportunities? They've already put together a couple, but throughout this game.
Again, they have to be patient in the initial build-up, because TFC2 do a great job of getting numbers behind the ball quickly. So be patient with the initial build-up, but once you're able to break that pass between the lines, beat that initial pressure, then whoever's receiving the ball has to turn and look to go to goal, whether it's for a shot or a pass to another midfielder running off. But you can't break the lines and then your first pass be backwards again, because that allows TFC2 to get back behind the ball.
Frazier dropping deep. He plays that ball up to Spencer. Scarlett in a foot race with him. Goes back to Lauro. Lauro off his line. Kubel swipes that one away. And now Velo brings it down. White pushing forward. It's 3-on-3 in the attack. Tenari onside. Off on the left side. Plays it back for the feet of Velo, whose early shot is knocked down. Off the body there of Romeo. Now New Dam coming forward. Red Bull Sioux try and press a little bit when they can.
Again, the Red Bull 2 have to be careful when they're attacking and when the ball turns over, whether it's a cross that they hit that they don't connect on or it's a pass that gets intercepted by TFC2. This back line has to get everyone in front of them organized, because TFC2 all they're taking is 1-2 passes, and they're already behind the back line.
Cavallo trying to turn into space in a battle with Uccello. Knocked away by Boskovic. Make sure you cast your vote for the USL Goal of the Week every Monday evening at uslsoccer.com as the road to the fans' choice USL Goal of the Year continues throughout the season. Our early vote, our only contender right now, Matthew Searbell, scoring his first ever professional soccer goal here in the 11th minute to give TFC2 the lead in 6 matches between these two sides. TFC2 0-5-1 against New York Red Bulls 2. They've got a lead right now. Let's see if they can hold on. Searbell had a chance to even it up. New York's had 3 or 4 chances that Cavalluso has stepped up to. New York Red Bulls 2 in their 4th season under Coach John Warnock. You know John fairly well. What do you think of him as a coach now?
To be honest, I would have never pegged him as a coach. And that's no disrespect to him, but I just never saw it. But what can I say? You got to give him credit. He's at the opportunity not only with the academy when he first started and was highly successful, and then with the creation of Red Bull 2. He's done nothing more than what they've asked of him, and that's not only to put a competitive team on the field and compete in the USL, but also ultimately to get those players ready to compete with the first team. And I think obviously this year with the start that the first team has had and the players that are contributing that have spent a lot of time with this Red Bull 2 team, it speaks volumes to what John Warnock has done and the entire Red Bull organization.
Who's the player you played with you were like, that guy's definitely going to be a coach?
Pablo Mastroeni, 100%.
Well, there you go.
He was a coach on the field from day one, so that one did not shock me at all.
What a touch there to get around the defense from Dan Eels. Aiden Dan Eels gets dragged down. It'll be a dangerous free kick coming here for TFC2. First yellow card of the game shown as well. It looks like it'll be Steven Echeverria.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, a dangerous set piece here, especially with some of the size that TFC2 have in Spencer and Telfair. They've created problems up front when the balls have been played to them, and they flick them on to one another. So let's see what they have in store here. I'm sure they've been working on set pieces all preseason long, so maybe it's something a little more cheekier than just clipping it to the far post and trying to head it on goal.
Uccello and Dan Eels are the two standing over this one. They've got numbers in the box. New York Red Bulls 2, all 11 back to defend. Dan Eels rips it low. It looks like it went off New York Red Bull 2 defender's foot. Now De Vera tries to start the counterattack, and it's handled by Kubel. So not that cheeky.
Yeah, I was surprised that he went for the direct strike, but I give him credit for having the confidence to take it.
Oh, you sound like such a professional soccer player. Yeah, credit given for just ripping a shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure his coach will have a different thought at halftime or tomorrow when they're reviewing the game.
Both these franchises starting to build this top-to-bottom strategy in the academies through the first team. Both visionaries in the front offices, the head coaches as well, and Jesse Marsh and Greg Vanny as they work to continue to build strong clubs. And the last 2 teams left in CCL for the MLS side. And the USL teams have been a big part of the success of both of those MLS franchises, especially New York. When you look at Velo, Bezecourt, Tyler Adams, Ben Mines, we mentioned getting goals. Aaron Long, 2016 USL Defender of the Year, now the mainstay on the back line for New York Red Bulls. Searbell slips Ben Spencer in. Spencer tries to get it by Loro, and it's knocked out for a corner kick.
I have to say that TFC2 they're not getting that many chances, but when they get chances, I mean, they're wonderful, high-quality chances that are getting on goal.
You look at this one, Searbell coming in. He's able to cut that ball back against the grain, and then Ben Spencer one-on-one with the goalkeeper again. It'll be Uccello to take this corner kick. TFC2 trying to double their lead here. The 30th minute mark of this first half. The opening game of the 2018 USL season. TFC2 looking for their first ever win against New York Red Bulls 2. It's headed away. Mines now closing down. Ball curled in and Loro's out to take it. No chance to counter quickly, but as you said, it's 1 or 2 touches for TFC2 right now, and they're in on a dangerous opportunity. It's very quick and easy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said before, Red Bulls almost, their enemy is when they're attacking, you know?
Mines now pushing forward. Able to push that back line. Deep, Devera's cross, and that's headed away. It'll be another corner kick.
But as I was saying, Red Bull 2, they're almost their own worst enemy because they're doing well, they're attacking, they're getting in great spaces, but then they're not organized in the back. Sometimes they have the 3 center backs against only 1 forward, or they have 4 guys versus 2. They need to push players on so that when that ball does pop out to the midfielders of TFC2, they can get a pressure on them right away.
Below with the low cross. Scarlett trying to find a chance to turn and shoot. Telfer knocks it away. Now Boscovit pushes it wide, and Velo's all the way back to take it once again. Scarlett stayed forward. New York Red Bulls 2. 4 shots here in the first half. Angelo Cavallo has stepped up to every single one of them. We highlighted him coming into this one, and he has played to expectations so far.
Yeah, definitely living up to his expectations and what we've heard from the TFC camp in regards to their thoughts on him. Some tremendous saves, and definitely the reason why TFC is leading this match right now.
Redding slips it in for Tenari on the top of the 18. Out wide for Devera. Back into the feet of Tenari. His pass deflected into his own path, and he'll let it roll out for a corner kick. Andrew Tenari, coming on strong last season, ended up starting 21 games with 2 goals and 3 assists, but was struggling to make the 18s to start the year, and finished out as one of the go-to starters on this team. Velo to take once again. This one clipped in at the low post, knocked away easily. Second bite at it for Velo. Headed away at the near post. Cutler coming in. Back to the feet of Cutler. He's trying to get them right for a shot. And TFC2 scrambles it away.
He's got to hit that one first time.
Redding and Tenari connecting. Now Ben Mines trying to get around that back line. And Cavalluso's out to take it. Early punt from him. Headed back by Devera.
You saw the idea there from Cavalluso. He had Spencer open here on the right-hand flank, but I think he rushed it a little bit and mishit his punt.
For New York Red Bulls, too, at this point, I think they've used every set-piece play that they came into this game with. They've had like 30 to start these 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Velo, his service has been kind of 50-50. He's hit some tremendous balls that he's whipped in, especially here from the left-hand side where he's hitting it, curling it inside. But he's had a few that have floated, not cleared the first defender.
Tenari now coming in. Into the feet of Velo. Gets by 1 defender, can't get by the second one. And it'll go out for a goal kick, last touch by Velo.
But that's what I'm talking about right there. That ball into Velo. He had 2 options there. He could have taken the safe option, which was just to turn and play backwards. But instead, he took that half turn, beat the defender as he turned, and now he's in on goal. And that's what they have to do against this TFC2 team who's being very compact, putting a lot of numbers behind the ball, is that when that ball gets played in between the lines, they got to make that first touch go forward, not backwards.
Velo with the Meg there on Kubel. Charging forward, and Kubel comes back and fouls him. Kubel, credit to him, and a nice Meg a few minutes ago. So I don't want to trash on the defenders at all, especially with Hunter sitting here. I don't want to get two-footed in the middle of this game, but Velo now a dangerous opportunity, but you just mentioned it, being more aggressive, going towards goal a little bit more, and New York Red Bulls too, trying to create that first goal here. The final 10 minutes of this first half.
And you almost wonder if John Warnock has translated what we were just talking about here with Valot's service, because now you see Cutler on the ball.
Yeah, Ethan Cutler was a number 10 in college at Colgate University. He was the male athlete of the year, Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year, but it's been transitioned into a right back. He'll use that right foot here on this free kick right on the hands of Cavallo.
Yeah, it's a difficult angle. It's a bit wide to take a direct shot on goal there, but he hits it well, but it's just easy for Cavallo to read and to get across and cover his goal.
It does feel like Valot and Mines have been playing a little bit higher these last 10 or so minutes alongside Brian White a little bit more to give New York some more attack, as you talked about.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I want to see more out of Mines. He started off the game busy, but he's kind of gone quiet in this last 15 minutes or so.
Telfer helped create that first goal. Dan Eels with his shot blocked. TFC2, as we've seen all game, quick and aggressive in possession. Kubel now coming forward. He gets a chance to hit the cross. Scarlett puts it straight back up, and it'll go out for a corner kick.
And that's the first time in this game that Kubel's really gotten forward, but tremendous cross, unfortunately, didn't quite get over in Dam's head, who did a terrific job of clearing the danger. But this is better from TFC2. You can see they've gotten more confident as the game's grown, obviously with the lead. And of course, Cavallo, you know, making all these tremendous saves.
Uccello with the cross. Spencer now goes up. He gets it away from Loro, but a foul will be called. Loro comes up hobbling a little bit. Ben Spencer enjoying the battles right now up top, throwing his weight around.
Yeah, he's not one that's shy to throw his weight around and go for every single 50-50 ball there is.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Free kick here for New York. TFC2 with the 1-0 lead. Through this one, Matthew Searbell scoring his first ever professional soccer goal in the 11th minute. A number of players out there making their pro soccer debuts. Valot's pass is a little bit too long and it'll roll out. TFC2, only 6 wins all of last year. Gonna get that started early here in 2018.
And going back to my thought on Ben Mines, how he's kind of drifted out of this game after the initial first 15 minutes. When he's with the first team, he doesn't have to be that guy that's taking the game and really trying to influence it, try to create. He has all those guys around him on the first team, and he can kind of just hang out there, and as the ball comes to him and as he gains confidence, he grows into the game. But here with Red Bull 2, I expect the opposite of him. I know he's still young, he's still 17, so of course he's still learning, but after you've come off such a fantastic week scoring your first goal in your debut.
Valot on side here. Kubel slides it away at his own goalkeeper, and it's cleared. Valot getting around Kubel that time off the flick by White. Now Cutler gonna sneak it into White. Cavallo trying to save this from a corner kick. He does, and keeps it in the box. Ben Mines playing out on that wide right side. We saw him last year on this team play as a center forward. Undersized, but has that great speed. Played with the MLS side out on that right wing as well. Still trying to figure out that positioning a little bit, it seems like.
And I was interested to see where he would line up today for Red Bull 2, but I think the reason why you're seeing him line up out wide right is because that's where he's going to get his opportunities with the first team. And yes, they know he can play underneath as the number 10 here with Red Bull 2 and be a fantastic player like he was for them last year. But you want him to be playing in the position that ultimately he's going to grow into. And right now, I think that's where they see him fit with the first team.
Great move there by Bjornthen. Dan Eels now on the ball, one-on-one with Redding. Finds the feet of Searbell. Good 1-2 between two academy players. And then guided off the ball by Echeverria. And now Brian White's out in space looking to run. Goes outside for Mines. Mines trying to beat the first defender, and Boskovic. A great open field tackle there. And now a ball into the path of Telfer. Telfer trying to get around Loro, and he blasted off the side of the net.
And that's probably the second or third time this game that Telfer's used his speed, his pace, those long strides that he has to get past Scarlett and this three-man back line for Red Bull 2. Again, there's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a long ball splitting the two between Redding and Scarlett, and he uses his pace and his body, and unfortunately, he can't quite do as good as his friend did, Serbal, with his finish. But again, TFC looks dangerous, and it's one or two passes and they're in. There's not a lot of build-up, a bit direct, but it's been efficient.
We've talked about this New York Red Bull 2 team, very center back heavy, so not surprising to see them play with this five-man back line that Jesse Marsh uses a lot as well. But right now, some confusion there. Do you see Coach Warnock try and change things up at halftime as Mines gets into the box and puts it over everyone? Below now for another bite at it, and it's turned over.
I don't see him wanting to change things at halftime. I'm sure he'll make some adjustments. But as I had a conversation with him on Thursday, and he told me that for this Red Bull 2 team, he's more worried about them than he is the other team. So I think he's going to go back to the drawing board, look at some things, look at how they've been broken down and the balls over the top, how easily TFC2 has gotten it on goal, and he'll want to shore some things up. But I don't think he's going to change anything drastically as far as formation goes.
Echeverria's had a quiet game at holding mid so far. Volo here in some space, turns it over for Frazier. To the feet of Uccello. Frazier able to play out of pressure. Spencer now one-on-one. Spencer looking for help. He's able to hit it off to Vera and out.
And again, it's the first game of the season, and if you look at this three-man back line with Redding, Scarlett, and Endom, between Redding and Endom, they've both been training mostly with the first team. So they're still getting to know one another, and that communication, it'll build over time throughout the season.
So a battle there between the center back and the forward. And our head official, Kevin Broadley, decides it's in TFC2's favor. Don't forget, you can go to USLsoccer.com, hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players, and the USLsoccer.com from the pitch, with written and video content that provides unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. It'll be Uccello to take here. Tenari, the one man in the box, on the wall, every player back to defend. Goes short at the near post, headed away by Volo. Back out for Uccello, whose cross is blocked, and it'll go out for a throw-in deep in the corner here. Final few minutes of this first half, an 11th minute goal by Matthew Searbell. The lone strike right now is TFC2. Had one or two chances to double that lead. Angelo Cavallo has stepped up with some huge saves to keep TFC2 ahead.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game so far. I mean, both teams probably have at least 3-4 quality chances on goal. Obviously, Cavallo made some terrific saves for TFC2 to keep them ahead. But again, for Red Bull 2, the big concern for me is just how easy Toronto FC2 has been able to get their chances. Whereas on the other end, Red Bull 2 have really had to work extremely hard to get the chances that they've earned.
NYRB Dose, a good 2017. They had a -3 goal differential on the year. To give you a comparison, in 2016, as Velo's header just goes wide, this team had a +40 goal differential. Sitting at -1 right now after just about 45 minutes here. We've got a sit-down interview with USL President Jake Edwards coming up at halftime, and of course we'll review all your first half action. We'll talk stats. We'll look at these star players, although I think it's going to be pretty obvious which ones come out on top in this first half. As Reading heads this one back in. New York looking for that last gasp goal. Tenari now charging forward. He gets the shot away and pulls it just wide.
Tremendous, tremendous pass there from below. You saw him just miss the header. For me, he's been Red Bull 2's best player the entire game. He's influencing the game. He's creating almost every single chance they've created going forward has come from the foot of below.
But TFC 2, Matthew Searbell's first goal of his professional career, and that has been the difference right now for these two teams. If you're TFC 2, you go into the locker room, what are you saying?
I'm happy, of course. TFC 2 started off slow, but once they got their footing after the first 10 minutes, they found their way to attack Red Bull 2, and that was when Red Bull 2 was attacking them. If they could beat 1-2 passes and then play over the top, they were in on goal.
TFC 2 will try and keep it up. New York Red Bulls 2 will try and fight their way back into this one. We've got first half stats. We've got an interview with USL President Jake Edwards, and second half action coming up here from Red Bull Arena.
Coming up on Red Bulls Insider.
Davis got ahead to it. Right, Phillips puts it out of reach.
I think when Jesse first came in, he wanted me to be more vocal. He challenged me to be more of a leader. If you know me, it's not really my thing to, talk just for the sake of it.
Sitting in the stands when I was younger, watching Thierry on replay, Bradley Wright Phillips, and now you get to be a part of the same thing that they are, and it's an amazing feeling to be a part of.
It's about to go down. The matchup y'all been waiting for.
Get in there. We're at the Adidas flagship. The players are signing autographs. They're getting involved in FIFA. Let me show you around.
All that and much more coming up after the match.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health, life years ahead.
Fans out at Red Bull Arena. It is a cold Saturday afternoon, but these fans out to watch some quality young soccer players get their taste at the professional game. David Goss and Hunter Freeman alongside you here from Red Bull Arena. We highlighted two players coming into this one. Angelo Cavallo in goal and Ben Mines on the attack. Angelo Cavallo has been the one who stood up and stood out so far.
Yeah, he's made at least 2 or 3 tremendous saves, keeping TFC 2 ahead in this game. For Ben Mines, he was influential at the beginning, but he drifted out of the game a little bit, so I look forward to seeing how he comes out of the locker room and finding a bigger influence and really putting his footmark in this match.
Best chance of the game for Mines, getting to that favored right foot and then attacking forward, trying to create a chance, but you look at these highlights here, Angelo Cavallo making save after save.
Yeah, just here being extremely well to get across his goal, a bit of a reaction save, and we saw that 2 or 3 times with him, just being in the right spot at the right time and keeping Toronto FC ahead.
Well, you look forward for New York Red Bulls to their next game at Atlanta United 2. So Atlanta United 2, one of the brand new teams in USL. It'll be an exciting matchup between two of the best academies on the continent, and their young players going after each other. And then New York Red Bulls 2 returning home, and they will play the Charleston Battery. They beat in the playoffs last year, but have a very different squad for the first time in a while. We've got an interview coming up with the USL president, and we'll be back here from Red Bull Arena with all your second half action in just a moment.
President of the USL, just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, my pleasure.
Jake, it's been another exciting off-season for the USL, and buzz is really picking up as we're getting ready to kick off here. Talk to us about what you're looking forward to the most in 2018 and where the USL is positioning itself in the American soccer landscape.
Yeah, we've worked hard this off-season and the last few years now to create a really great league, but an aspirational league. We look at the leagues around the world and we say we would like to be in the company of some of those top leagues. We're now the second division in the US. We've worked hard to achieve that, and we aspire to be one of the top second divisions in the world. And there's some phenomenal leagues out there to aspire to that we can learn from. But things are going great. It's been a busy off-season. We've got some new teams coming on board, some great new owners coming in the league, phenomenal new players coming in the league. And it's going to be by far and away the toughest and most competitive season, but certainly it's the biggest season we've had yet. More games, more teams. We reach more communities, more fans than ever before. So this is another big year for us.
Well, the league this year certainly continues to grow, and we're welcoming 6 new teams to the USL in 2018. What are you looking forward to the most during this kickoff weekend of these teams coming in and the quality of soccer we're going to see across the league?
Yeah, 6 very exciting teams, 2 teams that are already established clubs in Indy 11 and North Carolina. Great pedigree, great fan bases, exciting soccer-specific stadiums, and Atlanta United, the lone team out of MLS coming in this season. Atlanta United breaking all kinds of records as an organization in MLS, doing great things for the sport. Fully anticipate the same for Atlanta United too. And then, of course, our new markets, Nashville and Las Vegas, Fresno. Really exciting new additions to our league, and have done tremendously well in preseason games so far, well attended. So very much looking to see how those teams and those new fan bases mix in with all the other teams we have in our league.
A sunny Saturday afternoon and a happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone here in New Jersey and out around the country and in Canada watching this one as TFC2 has the early 1-0 lead over the New York Red Bulls 2, looking for their first ever win against the Baby Bulls. And let's look at some stats from this first half. The Red Bulls 2 dominated possession, outshot TFC2 11-6 in this one, 5-2 in shots on goal, but the only one that matters is the lone goal.
Yeah, and I think that sums up the game exactly, is that while Red Bull 2 have had more chances, more opportunities, it's been Toronto FC 2 that have been more dangerous with the opportunities that they've gotten. And of course, we've talked about it, but go back to Cavallo, who's been tremendous keeping them in the game. And if you're Ben White, you're thinking, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Because I've had 2-3 amazing opportunities to score.
This one's been a bit scrappy as well. 9 fouls for TFC2, 8 fouls for New York Red Bull 2s already in this game. We expect a good second half coming up for New York Red Bulls 2. Stefano Bonomo, longtime center forward on the bench. Armando Moreno, a new signing, Red Bull Academy player who was down in Mexico. And a couple of young names like John Murphy on the bench. For the flip side, some good options off the bench like Akeem Andrews for TFC2, as well as Luca Petrascio, one of their best young academy players, and Malik Johnson as well. We'll have all that action come up for you in just a moment here from Red Bull Arena.
Coming up on Red Bulls Insider.
Davis got a head to it, right, Phillips puts it out of reach.
I think when Jesse first came in, he wanted me to be more vocal. He challenged me to be more of a leader. If you know me, it's not really my thing to, talk just for the sake of it.
Sitting in the stands when I was younger, watching Thierry on replay, Bradley Wright Phillips, and now you get to be a part of the same thing that they are, and it's an amazing feeling to be a part of.
It's about to go down. The matchup y'all been waiting for.
Get in there. We're at the Adidas flagship. The players are signing autographs. They're getting involved in FIFA. Let me show you around.
All that and much more coming up after the match.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health, life years ahead.
TFC2 leading New York Red Bulls 2 on the road 1-0 here at Red Bull Arena. It was an electric first half. We thought maybe it'd be slow. First game of the season. These two teams wasted no time. Serbal with the opening goal in the 11th minute and a couple of huge saves for TFC2 as well in this one. And let's take a look at the first half highlights here from Red Bull Arena. The early goal, Serbal charging through the box, and Hunter a very composed finish.
Yeah, there you just see him split Redding and Cutler.
And then on the flip side, Cavallo stepping up with a couple of huge saves. This one maybe the biggest of them all.
Yeah, you see Brian White, his frustration from not being on the score sheet. And here again, you see Spencer, the havoc he can cause in the box, and Serbal there could have had a second, but hit it into the ground.
TFC2, they haven't had a lot of possession, but they've created a ton of dangerous opportunities off their few looks that they've had. New York Red Bulls 2 controlling the possession in this one, 57% to 43%. Velo doing a lot of that with that captain's armband on.
Yeah, and for me, again, he was the most influential player for Red Bull 2 in the first half. What you would expect, especially coming off the performance he's had the last 2 weeks with the first team. Almost every single chance that they created was coming from his ideas, his passes, or his shots on goal.
TFC 2 here, coming into this one 0-5-1 all-time against New York Red Bulls 2, and looking to escape with what would be their first victory ever against the team from the New York, New Jersey area, as we are ready for kickoff here in the second half. New York Red Bulls 2 trying to turn this one around if they can. If you're Coach Warnock, what was the conversation like? What are you saying to them as they come back out here?
I think offensively, you got to stick with the same thing you did in the first half. The chances were there. You created the chances. Now you just have to put them away. But definitely on the defensive side, to shore things up in the back, especially, as I said, when Red Bull 2 is attacking, that's when they've been their most vulnerable defensively. They have to make sure that they're not wasting too many numbers with only a few players of Toronto FC. So if you have 3 guys in the back and only 1 TFC 2 forward up top, you got to push one of those guys on into the midfield for when that ball pops out. That way the midfielders of Toronto FC 2 aren't able to turn and play that ball over the top like they were able to do in the first half.
No substitutions coming out of the locker room. False whistle to kick us off, but now we're ready to go. This ball knocked back to Liam Frazier. They're wearing the captain's armband here, playing that Michael Bradley role at the base of the midfield. The young Toronto area native, as Romeo floats that one out over the sideline. Good smattering of the crowd here. We've got the Rampage off to our right, the official New York Red Bull 2 supporters group. It's always great to hear them out in force. Fans over across the way, trying to get in that sun, Hunter, as it still feels like winter here in New Jersey.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
For a Texan, you don't mind it, right?
Well, I've spent a lot of time here in the New York, New Jersey area, so I like to think this as my second home.
Ball alive in the box. David Goss and Hunter Freeman joining you for this one. Hunter Freeman, former New York Red Bull player. Echeverria turns, looking for some space. Into the feet of Tenari. Tenari's ball out wide, blocked down by Serbol. Now Bjorn Thin out. Cutler gets by him. Mine's looking for some space. He cuts it back, and Bjorn Thin recovers and clears it.
That's much better right there from Redding. He stepped up. He's on Telfer right when the ball comes out. So Telfer's not able to hold the ball. The ball goes right back to Scarlett, and Red Bulls start their offense right again.
Newdam with the ball into the feet of Valo. Florian Valo, French native out of Rider University. He's been part of most of what's gone well so far in this game. That ball deflects off of him. Ben Mines with the cross, and it'll be out for a corner kick.
Again, similar to the first half, the beginning of the game, another great start here from Red Bull 2. They're on the front foot, putting TFC 2 under pressure. They've organized the defense a little bit better when they're attacking, so now they can keep the pressure on Toronto FC 2. And now they have a great chance for an opportunity here with this corner.
It'll be Tenari to take. So we saw Valo take all of the early set pieces, and then Cutler with a shot, and now Tenari here. He goes short to the feet of Valo. Back to Cutler. Down the line for Tenari. Tenari's cross blasts off Bjornthin. And a great defensive play once again for the Pacific Northwest native. Tavera clips this ball in over Mines. It's been a quick, hectic start here for New York as they throw some numbers forward. Tenari with the half turn. Lays it off for Echeverria, who's already been more active in these 2 minutes in the whole first half. Tavera's shot coming forward, and he puts it over the top.
I like that, though, from Tavera. He gets the ball right there in the middle of the field. He finds himself a little more inside than he has in the first half. And as he takes his first touch, the TFC2 defense starts to drop. Have a rip. Make them respect you. Now, next time he gets in that similar position, maybe someone steps and it opens up a passing lane for him to split the defense.
Shocking that Hunter Freeman thinks the fullback should get forward and take more shots.
Hey, it doesn't happen very often, so when you have your opportunity, you got to take it.
Tenari pushes this one up to Mines. Cutler with the curled in cross. Romeo knocks it down to the feet of Valleau. Chance now at Echeverria, wide for Tavera. A better look for him, and he just can't find the mark.
Tremendous opportunity there for Red Bull 2 and Tavera. Maybe that's why he's a outside back and not a midfielder. But again, just tremendous job from Red Bull 2 to press TFC in their end. They whip the cross in, it gets knocked back out. Valleau's there, they're patient, they make the extra pass, and unfortunately Tavera just can't slot it into goal.
Telfer's got Spencer running here, one-on-one, and Tommy Redding comes in late, makes the tackle, and that's going to be a penalty. It was a great 1-2 between Spencer and Telfer. Telfer falling down, slips that ball through. Tommy Redding, really not much of a choice, trying to put some pressure on, and the yellow card to Redding.
And again, it's exactly as we were saying in the first half, how Toronto FC2 was able to get in behind the defense with just 1-2 passes. We spoke about it at halftime that it needed to be addressed, and it was initially, but here, same thing. It's one ball into Telfair, he flicks it on, and Spencer's in behind Redding, and unfortunately, Redding brings him down in the box.
So it'll be Ben Spencer to step up and take this one. Ben Spencer, the young forward, has played all over the world already in his short career. This would be his first goal of the year, and it's saved by Loro. And Evan Loro with Dikembe Mutombo wagging the finger after that save, and New York's going back the other way. Brian White, 1-on-4 here, and Romeo steps up and makes the big tackle. Now Valleau with another look, Cavaluso pushes it wide. We're watching a basketball game now, baseline to baseline. Tenari clips this ball in. Kubel knocks it away before Valleau can get there. And now Frazier to clear. Scarlett with the tackle and a chance for everyone to breathe. Let's start with the save. Evan Loro, shaky in the first half, steps up huge here in the second.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want from your goalkeeper, and a good boost of confidence for Loro. And you see it directly translate right to the other end. And again, even that foul right there by Scarlett in the middle of midfield, I enjoyed that because you see here Loro with a great save. Not the best of penalties, if I'm being very honest. And then, as you said, given the Dikembe Mutombo.
This ball headed away at the far post. Tenari now coming in, gets possession. Goes by Daniels. Valleau able to stay on side, it looks like. Getting it back to feet. Echeverria looking for White. And it's scooped away by Romeo. This TFC2 backline has had a lot of work to do here in these opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, being the first match of the season, you wonder fitness levels as we get into the second half and later into the game, how they're going to do. You saw there the back line, they weren't able to get up as high as they had been in the first half. So even though they're clearing the ball, they're still quite deep, and they're allowing 2, 3, even 4 Red Bull players sometimes to be in the box for that second ball to come back in.
There'll be another set piece coming. It'll be Valleau now. Out wide.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
This is the New York Red Bulls too. Subs are getting a talking to. Taking up too much space. Devera floats it in. Chance for Redding. He can't get his header on goal. Mines recovers. Back out to Ben Mines. He's got Newdam, the center back. He goes right between the legs of Telfer. Straight into a defender. Scarlett's header over to Valleau. Daniels battling. He's able to get possession for his team. Devera comes back and wins it. Ball clipped in for White, and it's an inch too far. These two teams really starting to get after it, though, here, Hunter, in the second half.
Yeah, I think whatever John Wallenick said at halftime in that locker room, you can see that it's translated instantaneously here in the second half for Red Bull 2. And Devera especially, he's been active, extremely active in this second half. Had that shot earlier from far away. The second one that probably he should have scored on a tremendous build-up from Red Bull 2. And then there, looking for that early ball into Brian White and just missing.
First substitution of the game coming on here. Kevin Politz, a center back, homegrown signing out of Wake Forest, comes on. Hassan Newdam checks out. An up and down game, I think, for Newdam. And now Politz gets to make his professional debut. A mistake here from Boskovic. Brian White coming in, and Cavaluso makes that save easily.
A good solo run there from Brian White. Maybe could have tried to slot that ball across to Ben Mines, who was busting his tail to get in the box and did a tremendous job. But as a defender, I know every forward is going to be selfish and shoot that 9 out of 10 times.
Reading gave up the penalty kick, got the yellow card. His team's survived that so far. Can New York find an equalizer here? The way these two teams have played, you got to think there's goals here in the second half.
Certainly, certainly. And I think for Red Bull, it's just a matter of time because they've, again, even in the first half, they were creating chances. They were dangerous. They started the second half tremendously well. They just got to be able to find the back of the net.
Spencer cutting back in. Looking for a teammate. He's surrounded by white jerseys, not Brian. And they're eventually able to win the throw-in for his squad. TFC 2 last year, 6 wins, 2 wins on the road the entire year. They actually started the year with a win in Phoenix. Raheem Edwards able to inspire them in that one. They then didn't win another game until the second to last road game of the year against the Charlotte Independents. Now coming out here, trying to get started early on the road. They will stick away from home through next week. They'll head to Charlotte before returning home for their first game of the season in 2 weeks. It's a Canadian matchup against Ottawa as Velo gets knocked down, and he wants more than just a foul called. As Frazier then tosses the ball.
And I think that's a sign from TFC2. They saw exactly what we did in the first half, that Velo's influence for Red Bull 2 going forward is tremendous. And so there you saw when the Laro rolled the ball out to him, immediately he's under pressure. He's trying to get knocked off the ball. He loses it. Once he gets it back again, immediately under pressure once again.
Liam Frazier started all 3 games last year in CONCACAF U20 World Cup qualifying for the Canadian national team. Has been on the bench in CCL to start this year. Just 20 years old, but already becoming a major part of the TFC club. Boskovic with the long ball. Telfer trying to sneak in between the 2 center backs. Once again, you see how dangerous it is when TFC is able to find a ball over the top between one of those center backs.
Yeah, but for me, Scarlett, he's got to attack that ball in the air. He's letting the ball bounce, and then he's at a disadvantage immediately. So for me, if he's got good coverage from both of the outside center backs, if he takes that ball straight out of the air, heads it away, the trouble's gone. But as soon as he lets the ball bounce, it just creates problems for everyone.
Matthew Serbel has a goal in this game, and now he's got a yellow card picked up here in the 58th minute. So a few cards going either way here to open up this second half. New York Red Bulls 2. As we mentioned, they'll head on the road to Atlanta United 2 next week. Chance to face one of the new teams. A team that's been very successful at the academy level, considering they've only been a professional soccer team for 1 year. But already, Andrew Carlton, Chris Goslin, a number of other good young academy players showing off well for them at GA Cup and down in Mexico as well. So it'll be fun to watch these two teams go after each other. Hunter, it's been a good one so far between these two squads. You see a lot of individual talent, a lot of skill out on the field, and it's been fun watching them figure it out.
Definitely has. And I mean, that's what I was excited to watch this game and be here with you today, is the talent on display.
Mines trying to race in there. Boskovic with the slide tackle, perfectly timed. He hangs onto the ball for just a moment too long. And he's able to get the corner kick. New York Red Bulls 2 bench does not agree. A chance to watch some of the best young players in the region here on display. Tenari pushes it wide for Devera. Devera clips to the far post. Boskovic, another clearance. It's been a very steady performance from him. Mines cutting in field. Dan Eels wins it away. Telfer with the ball from his own half for Spencer, who's away once again. One-on-one with Laura on the save made by the goalkeeper. Ben Spencer right now has done everything right, but cannot buy a goal.
And again, it's the same theme every time. It's just a long ball over the top, and TFC are in on goal.
Brian White with the shot, and that one goes just wide. End-to-end stuff right now for Ben Spencer. I mean, to go from half field, it's a lot of time to have to dribble that out. Evan Lauro reads it well, comes sliding out, makes the save.
Yeah, and sometimes for a forward, that's the worst thing. The more time you have, the more time you start to think, you second guess what it is you're gonna do. And you see here, he gets a great first touch in front of him, gets his head up, sees Lauro coming out, but maybe just a little bit too far in front of him. And credit to Lauro, a tremendous save, sacrificing his body and keeping his team in this game.
Cutler with the ball across everything. Devera now. Back to the feet of Echeverria. Velo looking for some space on the run of Echeverria. The defense gives up on it. He cuts back. Blocked. A second chance there by Tenari is blocked. TFC2 has everyone in their final third to defend. Scarlett with the long rip straight into the hands of Cavaluso.
This game certainly has at least one more goal, and it's just a matter really of who's going to score it first. Is it going to be TFC on a break like they have been, or is it going to be a nice build-up from Red Bull 2 that finally breaks down this stingy Toronto FC2 defense?
You have to say TFC2 have worked their game plan to perfection. Tenari slips this one in. Velo coming in. One-on-one with Kubel. Looking for a teammate to drop it back to. Gets it to Devera. His cross hits the post. Mines follows it up now. His shot off a deflection is in. I think it's going to go down for Andrew Tenari. New York Red Bulls 2 finally break through here at Red Bull Arena as Tenari gets the opening goal of the season.
And it's almost like that's how it was going to have to happen to beat this TFC2 defense. A deflection. But regardless of how ugly or pretty it was, you could feel this coming. Red Bull 2 started the second half off extremely dangerous. They were pressing. They were trying to get this goal, and they finally found it. You'll see here, just the ball back to Ben Mines, who takes a shot that was definitely going wide of the goal, finds Tenari's foot, he sticks it out and deflects it into the corner, and finally they find a way to beat Cavaluso and the Toronto FC2 defense.
It should go down as an assist for Mines, even though it wasn't exactly on purpose. That whole attack, though, starts with Velo charging into the box, getting that through ball, cuts back. New York Red Bulls 2 hit the post, and then Mines able to follow it up and put it in off of Tenari. So now that TFC2's finally been breached, what will the young Reds do? Spencer able to get a corner kick for TFC2. Just south of 30 minutes left to play in this one. Is there a winner in this game for either of these squads?
I certainly think there's more goals to be had. With the way Red Bull's pressing, we'll see if they keep that pressure up, or now that they got the goal and the game's tied, that they may back off just a tad. I don't think TFC2 will change much, to be quite honest.
Uccello will take the corner. So he's done all game. Floats it to the far post, headed down, cleared by Redding. And Echeverria gets it all the way back to midfield. Romeo and Boskovic have been so good at center back in this one for TFC2, especially young man Boskovic. But they have finally been breached, as has Angelo Cavallo, who looked like he was going to have a perfect afternoon. Mines now charging forward into space, into the middle for Valot. The clearance deflects off Valot and into the safe arms of Cavallo.
And I think Mines just took one too many touches there. He had Valot, he saw him, he decided to take one more touch. I think if he plays him one touch sooner, it gives Valot a little more time to get his head up, either get a shot or find that final pass.
New York Red Bulls still a number of subs they can bring on to try and change this game. Stefano Bonomo, who was, in the end, their leading goal scorer last year with 13 goals, his second year with the squad, on loan from the first team. Armando Moreno, as we've mentioned, John Murphy, and Chris Lima, two central midfielders. And then they do have an option off the bench in Christian Casares, a young Venezuelan youth international, on loan from the first team. So Coach Warnock has a couple more bullets in his chamber. We'll see when and who he chooses to go with. It'll be Valot with the free kick. Valot floats this one in. It's cleared away on the top of the 6th. Corner kick coming here for New York Red Bulls in the 66th minute. The goal scored in the 11th by Matthew Searbull, and in the 62nd by Andrew Tenari. To the end line is Cutler. You've seen Cutler getting some good places, but that final ball just hasn't been there.
Yeah, the final pass is everything, of course. But I like what Red Bull have done, especially on their set pieces here in the second half. They've been more dangerous. They've changed it up, whether it's a direct ball into the box, playing short, but definitely getting more dangerous and using those quality chances from set pieces and turning them into chances where they're almost getting goals.
Trying to find some space right now to get into the attack. Telfer out wide. He's had a bright start to this game, you have to say. Helped set up the goal. Played in League One Ontario with Vaughan Azzurri before signing with TFC2 last year. Ended up starting 22 games, had a goal. So we've got our first substitution for TFC2. It'll be Akeem Andrews, the Trinidad and Tobago, coming on for Tim Kubel. Andrews joining the club last year on loan from West Connection down in TNT. Had a goal, started 10 games. For Kubel, he was under pressure all game at right back. In the end, gets 67 minutes in his professional debut. Tenari with the back heel. Valot charging in, and his left-footed shot is saved.
Yeah, I mean, Kubel was going up against Valot and even De Vera as well on the left-hand side, you know. And both of those guys have been extremely dangerous going forward. And I think maybe for Kubel, it was just a little too much for your first game, but he's getting his feet wet. He's learning.
Kubel, great pedigree. As a young player from Germany, was in the Dortmund and Schalke academies before heading over to Louisville, where he was an All-American and a Hermann Trophy semifinalist. Ended up getting taken in the draft this year by TFC, signing with Toronto FC 2. Valot now with some space. Charging forward. Getting on his right foot, looking to get by Boskovic. He puts the cross in, and Brian White still cannot breach this goal. And this game's still 1-1.
Yeah, you got to feel for Brian White. I mean, he could easily have a hat trick today already. Again, but the ball there into Valot, he does what I've been talking about all game, turn when they beat the lines. And then actually I felt like Ben Mines should have stayed more wide, because Ben Mines made his run into the center and brought his defender into Valot, but Valot does well to get around, puts a great ball across the box. And then once again, Brian White's in the right place at the right time, and just for whatever reason, he can't seem to find the back of the net so far today.
It looks like Valot and Mines maybe swapped wings here. Mines now going against the new substitute in Andrews. Back to the feet of De Vera. De Vera gets the early cross, and it goes through everyone. And it'll roll out the other side.
De Vera's whipped in 2 or 3 extremely dangerous balls in this second half, and he's really grown into the game. I like what I've seen from him in this second half. You can see why they drafted him.
I can also attest that he is a phenomenal juggler. So it's always good to bring skill sets outside the field into the locker room. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say that. That's what happens when you go down to Combine and you spend 10 days just hanging out.
You mean a juggler with his feet or with his
hands?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like tennis balls, apples, pears, maybe bananas, but I'm not sure.
Maybe he can add something new to the Red Bull freestyle team.
Absolutely. See, that's why you're thinking the whole big picture. It's not just on the field. A club first mentality, top down.
That's right. It's all about the branding.
Cutler will toss this one in. We've seen 1 substitute for TFC2, 2 for New York. Tenari here has the lone goal. Into the feet of Valot. Valot's shot blocked by Frazier. Redding here playing high for that center back. Cutler's got some space. He puts the cross in, and White missing the ball, can't get on the end of it, and then kicks the water bottle.
Yeah, he's definitely frustrated. I mean, he's doing all the right things.
Making great runs.
Yeah, except here, you see this ball come across from Cutler, and he stabs at it with his right foot. And my only thing to tell him is use your left foot there. Obviously, he's a right-footed player. It's his natural instinct. I'm sure he knows it now. He's probably even playing it over in his head, along with the 3 or 4 other chances he's had so far.
New York Red Bulls 2 press starting to show here in the 71st minute. Tenari swings it out wide right to Valot. Valot saves it from going out. He's got the cut back to White. Looks for Tenari, and Tenari's got 2. New York Red Bulls 2 have come all the way back from a goal down here in the second half to take the lead in the 72nd minute.
And that's just a tremendous goal. A little 2-man game between Tenari and Valot. Tenari started it with the ball at the top of the box. He got his head up. He saw Valot point. He knew where he wanted it. He put the ball in between the center back and the outside back. Valot does well to keep the ball in play, and then gets his head up and he sees Tenari making that late run, plays a tremendous ball back across the box, and a fantastic finish with his left foot from Tenari into the upper corner.
And without being simplistic, Cavalluso has made great saves but a shorter keeper, and Tenari puts it high in the corner and he's able to get the finish.
Yeah, but to be fair to Cavalluso, he still got his hand on the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got his hand on it, and he's having to come all the way across from his near post all the way to the far post. It's extremely hard for the goalkeeper to save that. I don't really feel like his size had anything to do with that. If anything, his quickness, his agility got him there in the first place to even have a chance.
So in the break for the goal, a substitute, the goal scorer, Matthew Searbol, went out. Malik Johnson checked in, and now change coming for New York Red Bulls to the final of the game. Stefano Bonomo, the Cal Bear, will come on in place of Florian Valot, who's going to finish off with an assist on that game go-ahead goal for Andrew Tenari. Bonomo will pop in. It looks like we'll go to his natural center forward position, and Brian White will go out wide. What a game, though. What do you make of Valot's overall performance?
I thought it was fantastic. Not only from his skill set, the the opportunities that he brought his team and himself, but just the mindset. Again, I mean, he just played Champions League, MLS home opener, had a tremendous, in both games, extremely well performed. And then you wonder, what's his mindset going into this game? And, some basically empty stadium, Red Bull 2. But he looked at it as an opportunity, and I think he showed Jesse and John Warnock why he deserves to be with the first team.
De Vera battling there once again. He's really put in a workmanlike effort so far today. Now TFC2 looking to attack the space. Malik Johnson just checking in, going up top with Telfer and Spencer. Telfer's onside, trying to get that shot away, and Politz and Scarlett combined for the tackle. And you got to say, in my mind, Hunter, everything good that's happened for New York has been when Andrew Tenari's gotten near the ball. He was quiet in the first 25, 30 minutes, and since then, this New York Red Bulls 2 team has looked completely different, even outside the goals.
Yeah, no, Tenari is another one for me today that I've been impressed with. And you're exactly right. When he's gotten on the ball, he has that vision. He's got the quality to make that final pass. He's shifty. He's done well. I think what's made him better in this second half is that when he's received the ball in between the lines, he's now turning and going forward. The first half, he was playing a little bit safe, which is understandable. It's the first game of the season. But as he's grown into this game, he's gained confidence, and that's only been an asset for Red Bull 2.
New York Red Bulls 2 finishing off 2017 on a strong run to sneak into the playoffs and then make an underdog run to the Eastern Conference Finals after their 2016 USL Cup Championship. TFC2 came out here in a boxing match with the early punch to the face to show New York Red Bull 2 they were not intimidated on the road. New York Red Bull 2 have responded here in the second half in kind. Ben Mines gets taken down. It'll be a yellow card coming here for Andrews.
And that's one thing Ben Mines is going to have to get used to now because he's made a name for himself. I know it's only been one game and he scored a goal, but that's the reality of the game. When you're 17 years old, you make your MLS debut, you score a goal, everybody knows who you are. I mean, you alluded to it. He has 400 new followers now. So, but
maybe more now that we've said it.
This is true. This is true. But you've seen here today, TFC2, every time they've gotten close to him and that he's had a chance to turn one of their defenders, he's gotten crushed, and that's something he's going to have to get used to, have those eyes in the back of his head, and get the ball off his foot quicker.
Bonomo was drafted in the second round by New York Red Bulls in 2016. Spent some time over in Europe, a couple trials with a few teams, ended up signing halfway through the year with New York Red Bulls 2, and then was the mainstay last year, and he's put Ben Mines through here. One-on-one, gets to the end line and can't even get a shot away as TFC2 are able to dodge a bullet there.
A terrific pass and a fantastic run from Ben Mines. He gets himself in a tremendous position, and then I think just his own head got the best of him. He was going to shoot it, then he thought maybe I can dribble, take one more touch and get a better angle, and unfortunately he just closed his angle off and never even got a shot on target.
New York Red Bulls 2 out shooting TFC2 in the first half, 11-6, 5-2. Here now on the full game, 25-9 shots New York Red Bulls 2, 11-4 in shots on goal. Malik Johnson's chances blocked before he can even get it off his foot. Slide tackles coming in from left and right.
Yeah, great block there from Scarlett. But again, for as much as Red Bull 2 is dominating this game, you still see that TFC is able to get high-quality chances.
78th minute here at Red Bull Arena. New York Red Bulls 2 went down in the 11th minute to Matthew Searbull. First professional soccer goal. They then started to claw and scrap to close out the first half, but could not beat Angelo Cavallo here in the second half. It was a shot from Ben Mines that was deflected. Goal credited to Andrew Tenari in the 62nd minute. And then a gorgeous goal, the two-man game between Valot and Tenari to give New York Red Bulls 2 the lead in the 72nd minute. Reading now pushing forward. Reading coming over in the Sasha Kleshtin trade along with Carlos Rivas. But Nomo's got an opening. His shot is blocked. Tenari following it up. He loses possession, and now Frazier looking to launch the counterattack over the top. And Scarlett's able to get out in front of Spencer. And the center back handles it very calmly.
Very well done there from Scarlett. Those were the balls that were causing them difficulties in the first half and even early in the second half. And you saw there, Scarlett, as soon as he saw the center back for TFC2 get his head up, he immediately started dropping, knowing that that long ball was going to come.
Ball over the top. De Vera keeps it alive. Early ball in for Tenari. Just too far for the Columbia University man to get there.
Great ball from De Vera there. Great ball.
And we mentioned first game of the season, and I've said it a couple times for a few of these guys. First professional soccer game ever. Guys like De Vera, Echeverria have really started to find their feet here as this game's gone along. Telfer with the cross to the top of the box, and De Vera intercepts it.
Yeah, those two guys, especially De Vera, the second half has been tremendous. And Echeverria, he's a center mid defensively. He's had a...
Ben Mines gets into the box. Boskovic with the tackle.
But he's had a solid game, and that's what I want from that guy that's sitting there kind of holding the team together from forward and back, is that he's breaking up plays. He's not trying to do anything spectacular, but he's doing his job efficiently and effectively.
Spencer dropping back to find the ball. Frazier has done a lot of work himself defensively in that role. He's really protecting that back line in the first half, and we've seen a few of his long balls launching counterattacks throughout this game. Still one substitution left if TFC2 do choose so. Laurent Guyot, sorry, the head coach there, named the coach just a little under 2 months ago up in Canada, replacing Bent, who has become an assistant under Greg Vanny. Early ball in, Telfer flicks that one onto the far post, can't find Spencer. Guyot coaching in his native France, where he played over 200 times between Nantes, Guingamp, and Toulouse. Ended up being the head coach of US Boulogne, as well as CS Sedan Ardennes. It looks like we've got final substitution coming here for New York.
And this is where these last, 8 or 9 minutes with a young team, young players, how do they close out a game when they're winning? And I'm sure that's something John Warnock will be looking for, and he'll be able to pull from this tape and suggest to them maybe a different way to go about it sometimes. But it's not always about scoring a goal. You're winning 2-1, you're at home. And yes, of course, I know it's about development, and as a young player, you want to show yourself so that you can eventually move up within the organization. But you got to realize as well that to be smart, to know the way to close out a game properly, when to take the chances to still attack, but be patient. Those are things that John Warnock and Jesse Marsh and Dennis Hamlin, those are the things that they're looking for as well. Not just individual flair, how many goals you score, tackles you win.
So the final substitution, Christian Casares, just 18 years old, out of Caracas, Venezuela, makes his Red Bull debut, an MLS signing here on loan. Signed over this offseason from Deportivo La Guaira. Of course, his dad, 28 caps and 2 goals in his Venezuelan national team career. So Casares trying to make his own name coming here to MLS. Mines into the feet of Tenari. Boskovic gets a touch. Mines will drop it back for Cutler. 84th minute here at Red Bull Arena. Chance to get on the ball here for Sean Hyundai. Coming off the bench for this TFC 2 squad. Hundal, just 18 years old. Another one of those TFC Academy players.
And that's a sign as well for TFC 2 that they've taken off Romeo, a defender, and put on a forward. Obviously, they're trying to find their way back into this game and get a result here on the road.
Chance here for Bonomo. He gets by Boskovic, trying to find Mines. Now Casares. Casares turns and shoots. It's blocked by Bjornthen. Miscommunication there between Mines and Casares. Cutler comes forward. Beats the first defender. Tackled away. Crossing for Bonomo. Boskovic can't get his clearance away. Tenari keeps the play alive. And then Mines collides with Cavalluso. Chaotic moments there for TFC 2.
Yeah, that chance before with Mines and Casares, like, you want somebody to be selfish there. You know, you appreciate that these are young kids and that they're unselfish. They're trying to make that extra pass, but that's where you want them to be selfish. You're 12 yards out from the goal. Someone have a shot. But I appreciate as well the fact that they're looking for their teammates. You know, that's something a lot of times as a young player you're not always looking for. But it was a tremendous opportunity and one that probably should have resulted in another goal for Red Bull 2.
86th minute here, New York Red Bulls 2 leading 2-1. Both goals here in the second half, 10 minutes apart by Andrew Tenari. He only scored 2 goals all of last year. He's already got 2 in the first game of the season. The Red Bulls 2 are looking to hang on for an opening day victory. It wasn't easy. TFC 2 led for almost 50 minutes. Turnover by Scarlett. Andrews now charging forward at right back. Links up with Uccello. Liam Frazier here has dropped into the center back role that Romeo left when he went off. Foul picked up by Casares.
And that's well done from Casares. You saw his first touch earlier. He got the ball, and because he had just come on to the field, he wanted to play a pass forward when he probably should have kept possession. But there you see tremendous pressure. He wins the ball. He draws the foul and now gives some breathing room to his team and as well lets the clock keep ticking.
Mines keeps possession under pressure. Scarlett now floats it wide for De Vera. Headed into the feet of Tenari. Tenari looking to slip in Bonomo. Bonomo's left-footed shot is saved by Cavalluso, and the offside flag is up.
Well, once again, who is it? Who is it coming through? It's Tenari. And for me, next to Valo, the two most influential guys for Red Bull 2 today.
Scarlett's not able to get there. Hundal beats him. Getting into the box, Politz clips it away and then safely finds the feet of De Vera. Scarlett so far in this one for you, Hunter. He's had an up and down game. That role as the middle of that 5-man back line, what does he need to do?
His biggest thing is communication and organization, because he not only does he need to organize the guys next to him when they're attacking.
Mines with the early ball in for Bonomo, who puts his shot over the top.
Not only does he need to organize the guys beside him when they're attacking, which I thought he did a better job of in the second half, but as well, he's got to defend himself. And sometimes he's been a bit tentative. I can see where he's not unsure if he should step up or drop, and sometimes he's getting caught in between. And as a defender, when you get caught in between, that's the worst place you could be.
We've seen how well TFC have played that 5-man back line. Drew Moore, a guy in that role who probably epitomizes what you want as that middle center back communication, soccer IQ, reading the game.
Yeah, I mean, Drew's obviously his career speaks for himself, but I've also someone I've known since I was probably 12 years old. We both grew up in Dallas, Texas, playing against one another. We're drafted the same year. He went one pick in front of me, so someone I know very well. But
Tinari getting forward here. What a great slide tackle in the end by Frazier, who gets up and is absolutely livid at his teammates for giving up that chance.
I mean, Tinari's engine. I mean, this is the first game of the season, and you expect a little bit of fatigue here in the 90th minute. But Tinari, he already has 2 goals. Maybe, obviously, probably good, for me, player of the match because he scored those 2 goals. And he's still bombing forward, trying to get a third or set up a third.
Tinari last year, Coach Warnock said, struggled with fitness to start the year. That's why it took him so long to get in the team. How different, Hunter, is the college level, college preseason to pro?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest adjustment for these guys that are coming straight from college.
Tinari cuts this one back. It's knocked away. Scarlett will bomb that one into the crowd.
But the biggest adjustment is just the number of games, the length of the season. You know what I mean? In college, the season's 3 months, basically. You have a 2-week preseason. Here, you come to MLS, USL, your preseason is 2 months. It's almost the length of your entire college season. So before the season's even started, you feel like you've played a season. So it's adjustment.
How impressive is it for these players when you see, you hear that comment 1 year ago, and now you mentioned Tinari, 90 minutes, still working hard, for a player to take those steps to understand what they need to get better at.
Yeah, well, I think it's a learning process, right? Now he has a year under his belt. He knows the level that he's going to be playing at. He knows the level that personally he needs to be at. I'm sure he's had conversations with John Warnock and the rest of the Red Bull 2 staff. He knows what the expectations are for him. And for him to perform, he knows what level he needs to get to.
TFC2 exposed right now, going for the equalizer. Casares in on the far right side. He curls a shot, it's blocked. Bonomo tries to crash. Cavallo picks it up.
Yeah, and I have to give credit right there to Bonomo because it was a very unselfish run that he made, but he dragged both defenders out, opened it up on the left-hand side for Casares. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, but a very unselfish run from him to even have that opportunity come by.
TFC2 throwing everything forward here as we enter into stoppage time. Still awaiting our 4th official to put that board up. We are officially through the 90 minutes of regular time. New York Red Bulls 2 going to start this season off with a victory. A 2-1 lead right now through 2 goals, 10 minutes apart by Andrew Tinari. Don't forget, USL's official Facebook page brings you the best from across the league with news, highlights, and interactive features like the USL on Facebook to get the league's best content delivered to you. A couple good goals in this one. An opening goal by Matthew Searable. Great composure from him as he broke into the box, and then especially the second New York Red Bull 2 goal. A little 2-man game between Vallo and Tinari across the box and then back in for the top corner finish. You walk away from this one, these 2 coaching staffs, obviously early, first game of the season. What's the comments you think as we see we get a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time for at least Coach Warnock to his squad?
Yeah, for Red Bull 2, I think there's a lot of positives. You've dominated possession, which is something that you want to do as an organization from top to bottom. Your pressure was really good. It got even better in the second half. You found 2 goals, and you beat a good team here in TFC2 who created you problems, and I think that's what you want. You want problems. You want to be able to go to the drawing board and say, look, these are things we did good, but these are also things we got to do better, and I think for sure shoring up that back line and not creating, giving away chances so easily. Make teams have to earn those, not just one easy ball over the top. That's too easy to create chance.
For Laurent Guyot's squad, his first game ever as TFC2 coach, it was a bright start, a 1-0 lead through Matthew Searable in the 11th minute, but it was all New York Red Bulls 2 in the second half, pouring on the pressure here in this one. 30 shots in total for NYRB2, 11 shots on goal. We'll be back in a moment with all your post-game news and action from here, Red Bull Arena.
Coming up on Red Bulls Insider.
Davis got ahead to it, right, Phillips puts it out of reach.
I think when Jesse first came in, he wanted me to be more vocal. He challenged me to be more of a leader. If you know me, it's not really my thing to, talk just for the sake of it.
Sitting in the stands when I was younger, watching Thierry on replay, Bradley Wright Phillips, and now you get to be a part of the same thing that they are, and it's an amazing feeling to be a part of.
It's about to go down. The matchup y'all been waiting for.
Get in there. We're at the Adidas flagship. The players are signing autographs. They're getting involved in FIFA. Let me show you around.
All that and much more coming up after the match.
One of the nation's leading heart programs. A shared sense of compassion, innovation, and expertise. Perfectly orchestrated so your world never misses a beat. Hackensack Meridian Health, life years ahead.
New York Red Bull 2 fans out here celebrating with their squad. A successful opening day to the 2018 season. David Goss and Hunter Freeman joining you from Red Bull Arena. Ben Mines coming in off his first MLS goal. A big performance here, but the keys were Andrew Tenari on the New York Red Bull 2 side, and on the flip side, Angelo Cavallo. As let's look at the highlights. TFC2 got this one started early with a goal.
Yeah, and it was a little bit against the run of play, but they have been knocking on the door, and here you see Searable just split the defense, takes that extra touch, and a tremendous finish with the outside of his right foot into the corner. And then you see here that guy you were talking about, Cavallo, was tremendous, especially in the first half, keeping Toronto FC ahead in the match. And then here in the second half, you see the penalty that was stopped by Lauro, and this really gave the Red Bull 2 team a boost because they came right back down the field and almost scored. And then finally here, they've been knocking on the door all second half, and it almost felt like it was going to have to be a scrappy, ugly goal. And you see Ben Mines takes a shot, it's deflected by Tenari, and they finally get one past Cavallo, and they tie the match up.
Tenari wouldn't stop there, though. 2 goals in all of 2018. 2 goals here today as he got the winner. That 1-2 play with Velo for New York Red Bulls 2. 30 shots, 11 shots on goal, as we said. Dominating possession throughout this game. But 4 players make their professional soccer debut as well. Altogether, a good afternoon for John Wolinek's boys.
Yeah, and one of those guys I was really impressed with was De Vera on the left wing. He was dangerous. He really came into the game in the second half. Put a lot of dangerous balls wide, did his job defensively. And of course, Tenari, for me, man of the match, 2 goals, but influential, and Velo as well. What more can be said about him? But a tremendous start for Red Bull 2. Obviously some things they need to work on, but that's what you expect in the first match of the season. But I think nothing more can be said than getting started off in the right direction and winning.
For TFC2, they dropped to 0-1 in the year. They head to Charlotte for their second game of the year. New York Red Bulls 2 move to 1-0 on the season. They head to Atlanta United 2 as they'll be back at Red Bull Arena in 2 weeks against Charleston for that one. For myself, David Goss, Hunter Freeman, everyone here at New York Red Bulls, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.